heard of Cash App, right? Cash App's very popular. In fact, it's the #1 most downloaded finance app and millions of people use it every day. So you might have seen a few YouTube videos floating around about a feature called Cash App Borrow, which is essentially like a cash advance type feature for the app Cash App. Now the problem is, after watching some of these YouTube videos, we tried to find this borrow feature ourselves, and we were not able to. If you go to the Cash App website, there is no sign of Cash App Borrow anywhere, although great visuals. So when we plug this into Google and search for Cash App Borrow there, it comes up with a lot of tutorials on how to use Cash App Borrow, but in order to get to the Cash App Borrow feature, we can't find it. If you go to the Cash App website, the only Cash App results we found for this are a couple of legal agreements, one which expired in 2020. So if we go into Cash App on our phone and we search for borrow in the help bar, it still doesn't show up. You get a small screen that has some info about it, but again, there is nowhere to sign up for this thing. And then there's the reason why we're even making this video in the first place, is because when we actually watched those YouTube videos about Cash App Borrow, if you watch them all the way through, you'll realize that they don't actually show the product. They don't show themselves using this feature. And so it's still super elusive. So I know it is not a fake, it's not a scam, but how do we freaking sign up for this? Is there limited availability? Is it a retired feature? So that is what we're going to be exploring today. Will we get answers? I don't know. You'll have to watch and find out. Luckily, I am not the only one who is questioning if Cash App Borrow even exists. Here's some Reddit threads where it's looking like people can't find it either and are having a really rough time and asking if it is a scam, if it's legit. So it's not just us. It's not just us. Some of the replies on the Reddit threads are from actual users who have gotten access. So we do know that it's real. And then if you look on page 6 of Block's quarterly report, it reports that Cash App Borrow has about 2 million users, which sounds like a big number, but in reality, it is less than 4% of their overall users. So it's looking like this is some sort of an exclusive feature that may be a little bit difficult for people to qualify for. It's even a smaller amount than some of the popular cash advances like Dave, Earnin, and MoneyLion, which have more users than Cash App Borrow does. We have also concluded that you need to be invited to use the borrow feature, and that a lot of the users are not eligible. It's also for US residents only, and according to this post, it's only available in about 20 states. You also have to have a cash card. If you do not have a cash card, the app will not allow you to have this borrow feature. And then another thing that seems likely is that Cash App is looking at your history with the app and your usage, and then based off of that determines if you qualify or not. So we don't know the exact things that they're looking for, but we can probably assume it's like payment history, your account balance, how long you've had the account, how long you use the app, and also if you receive regular recurring deposits like a paycheck. There's no mention of credit score anywhere, but that also could be a factor. We don't know. So we can't find anything from Cash App that describes the terms. The things that we did find were out of date. So basically we're looking at other people's reviews, which all seem to be pretty consistent with the terms, but again, there's no way of knowing for sure, so take it with a grain of salt. We also don't know the borrowing limit amount. So it could be 500, but then we've also found someone who had it increased to 700, so we really don't know what the cap is, so I'm just gonna say 700 for now. Again, like most typical cash advance apps, the Cash App Borrow feature does start you at a lower amount and then you can increase it gradually as you go. It also gives you 4 weeks to pay, which is not bad. You can choose to pay it in weekly installments. You can choose a portion of each deposit, or you can just pay it off all at once. So there is a 5% flat fee, and then there is also a late fee for this, which is very uncommon amongst overdraft apps or cash advance apps. This one's going to charge you a $5 late fee plus a 1.25% weekly late fee. So that means if we're paying a $100 loan back and we're late, it's going to cost us an additional $6.25 plus $1.25 per week that the balance is still outstanding. You can also have multiple loans at the same time, which is a very good feature. They can all add up to the total that you can qualify for, but you can take out multiple smaller amounts. And last but not least, it's unclear if they report to credit bureaus. So overall, there's a lot of other options besides Cash App Borrow for being something super exclusive. It's kind of underwhelming, to be honest, based on the research that we found. There's a lot of popular cash advance apps that cost just as much or even less than this Cash App Borrow feature, and they don't have late fees. A $5 fee to borrow $100 is not a bad deal because it's below the average amount for taking out a cash advance, which the average amount is about $19.08. But you do have to watch it and make sure you're paying it back on time because the late fees are where it's going to get you. There's also cheaper options like Dave, for example. If you borrow $100, you're paying $3 for the express fee and $1 for subscription. It's only $4 total, and you don't have to worry about late fees. And Dave also doesn't report to credit bureaus if you're late for any reason, so it might be a safer option since we don't know what Cash App Borrow does. Shameless plug, if you're interested in learning more about Dave, here's the video I made about that. As always, I hope you guys found this super helpful. We really had to dig to get that information, so if you appreciate our efforts, please reward us with a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. I will see you guys next time for the next cash advance video. Bye.